Oh, what did you do at the weekend? Oh, well, I just, did a French knot. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. And if you're familiar with me, you'll know that I'm not particularly great at like textiles and embroidery and all that kind of stuff. Oh, I felt something snap. So today I thought I would try and teach myself a little bit of cross stitch. And I don't think, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, I've ever done cross stitching on the channel. I don't think I have, but I could be wrong. I've been doing this for a very long time, so I can't remember what I've done.
Hard. Why?
But I'm almost certain I haven't ventured into cross stitch, which I'm quite surprised about, to be fair. And although this kit says embroidery kit, I think embroidery encompasses everything, like all kinds of like thread and sewing and all that kind of stuff. Whereas cross stitch, I think that hones in on the specific types of stitching. So I thought we'd give this a go, and hopefully I'll learn some things today, but there's a good chance I won't learn anything at all.
Correct.
Okay, so we've got a tutorial booklet on the top 29 embroidery stitches. Oh, and there's some little things on the back. So we've got a little pair of scissors, whatever that is, and some like needles and stuff. Okay, cute. And then we've got our thread, a little embroidery hoop. Oh, this is very detailed. This is very thorough. I wasn't expecting it to be like this. You have different little teachable things. It shows you all the different kind of stitching you can do. So that's number one. Which one's this one? Number two. You've got chain stitch, lazy daisy stitch. Oh, I do like the sound of a lazy daisy. I love it when things rhyme. Do they have any fun names on stitches 3? A twisted chain and an arrowhead stitch. Very lovely, very nice. And then what's the fourth one? A weave stitch and a Tommy stitch. A buttonhole wheel, a woven rose, a woven circle. There we go. Fancy, fancy. So I already like the fact that it's given you very specific things to follow. I appreciate that. That makes things easier for us. And I like it when people make things easier for us. I think we'll try this one. So we've got lazy daisy, chain stitch, French knot stitch, bullion stitch, fly stitch, feather stitch, and a split stitch. And I'm sick of saying the word stitch. What does it tell me in this little book? Okay, so it just tells us the basics. These, believe it or not, are called scissors. Glad we've established that. I do like it when things really dumb it down for us because I do need that. First step after we've learned what scissors are is we're just gonna shove our fabric into here. I've done this many times before, so I feel like I know what I'm doing. You just want to pull it nice and tight, don't you? You basically want it to be like a tambourine. Is that the gayest thing I've ever done? Possibly. I think I can just pick whatever kind of thread I want, so that's good. I'm gonna obviously go for green, my favourite colour. This is very thorough, this kit, I'm not gonna lie. If you're like me and you struggle with stuff like this might be a very kind of fun and informative afternoon. So which stitch are we gonna do? We're gonna do the lazy daisy one. So I'll just give you a up close at this. So it shows you exactly picture by picture and step by step on what you do in order to get a specific stitch. And obviously this is the lazy daisy one. And it says we do 1 out, 2 in, the same hole, form a loop, 3 out, 4 in, over the loop.
What does that mean?
Uses, stitch in a circle to create flowers. Ah, single stitches can be leaves. Right, let me try and apply what I've just learned, or not learned, to my actual embroidery. 1 out, 2 in.
He folds it in.
What do you mean? 1 out, 2 in, the same hole, form a loop. So out must be like to push it up. So out, 1 out, and then 2 in the same hole, form a loop. I don't understand what that means. 1 out, 2 in, and maybe you go back in the same hole. But then I'm gonna come back out again, aren't I? I'm confused. I'm so confused. Oh, there's a video. Hang on, there's a QR code. Need the video. 1000% I need the video. So if you're wanting to know, they actually have a channel. It's called Brad Dove, and they have little like 2-minute, 3-minute videos on the actual specific stitching technique, which I think is clever, isn't it? Out, 1. In the same hole. Yeah, so they go back in. They leave a loop. Come back up. And back down. Is that it? Okay, I'll pause that. I'll keep that for reference. I know you just didn't see any of that, or I might have put the video clip on the screen, I don't know. So they go one in, so I did that step fine. And then they went back into the same hole. And then what you want to do is keep a loop, like here. Then I'm going to go through the bottom of the petal, along here. And then through here. Ah, that's clever. I like that. Okay, and then we've created like a little cute daisy thing. Mine's a bit...
Shit.
How do I finish it? Hang on. They make it look very easy, don't they? And then I just go back through here, I think, just to secure it in place. I've knotted all the back. Oh no, it's all gonna mess at the back. I didn't focus on the back at all. Look at the state of it. It's all tangled. I'm gonna have to start that again. Wait there, I feel like I know what I'm doing now. I'm gonna do that one again. I didn't like how I did that. I can do better. I swear I can do better than that. And then straight back through the same hole. I think it's important as well to keep an eye on what's happening at the back, because everything can really go wrong if you let that just do its own thing. Right, so you want to keep a loop. So I've got a gorgeous loop there. Because can you not remember when I embroidered on them shoes and I was not paying attention at all to what was happening underneath, and it all drastically got away from us? I've embroidered the laces to the back of the actual shoe by accident. Bring that loop right down. There we go. Mine doesn't look as kind of like wide as theirs. I don't know how they got theirs so wide. I was talking about keeping an eye on the back. I haven't paid attention to the back at all. It's an absolute mess. How'd that happen? Okay, well, it is what it is. How's that happened? Mine doesn't... Mine doesn't look at all like theirs. Look what's happened to mine. It just turned into a normal stitch. Mine doesn't look like a petal at all. If you really look close, it's just one singular stitch. And then the back, again, looks an absolute mess. I'm gonna keep trying and see if I can perfect this, because I don't know what I'm doing wrong.
Everything.
When I say I'm allergic to things, I'm not joking, you know. I'm like physically allergic to like sewing and stuff. Don't know why. Really don't know why. Even when I try and pay attention, I just can't do it. We go up through one, pay attention to the back, and then we're gonna go back in on itself and keep a loop. Paying attention to that back, yep. And then I wanna go up through the top like that. Pay attention to the back. I'm going up through the loop. Oh, just like that. Go slow. And then, maybe as if I just don't pull it all the way down, I can just go right over the top there. And that should hopefully secure it in place, and that should be a lazy daisy. That's a million times better. So if we look at that second one compared to my first one, that's way better, isn't it? That's a massive improvement. That's huge. I think with something like this, if you're not great at it, just take your time. Just chill, don't put any pressure on you, and just go with the flow. I think that's the best thing to do. Right, let me try and do one without looking at the video. Okay, that wasn't too bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't too bad. The thing is, I've seen some pictures on the internet, and I thought it was like fake. I thought it was AI and stuff. But people can embroider these like 3D, insanely realistic things on like a little embroidery hoop, and it's mind blowing. The talent that these people have is crazy, and they must use all kinds of different stitches. I don't know how they actually do it. They must spend years and years and years of their life just stitching and sewing away. I have huge respect for people like that. I'm not one of those people, but I do respect it. Okay, that one didn't go to plan either. I feel like I'm getting worse. I genuinely feel like I'm getting worse as I'm going on. I don't know how. Try and keep it tighter this time. I feel like I've left things a bit too loose. Oh, okay, that was a good one. Finally. So if we look at that, there's my little lazy daisy stitching. How cute. How adorable. It's strange because you have to kind of think about where the thread is going to kind of loop and connect to one another. And if you look at the state of the back of it, I think I kept it quite neat. Oh, look at the back actually. That part looks quite neat. I don't know what happened here, but this bit, I started to get a bit better, didn't I? Okay, I feel like I've mastered. I say mastered, I don't think I've mastered, but I think I've kind of succeeded with the lazy daisy stitch. I think we'll move on to another one. Let me just tie this off so it doesn't all get unthreaded. Don't want to lose all my hard work. Took me half an hour that. It's half an hour well spent though. Right, I'm going to swap out the colour for this one. I'm going to go for a purple. And we're going to try a French knot stitch. I feel like the sound of a French knot, it just feels fancy, doesn't it? It feels like, oh, what did you do at the weekend? Oh, well, I just, you know, I did a French knot. It just feels like, you know, a bit pompous, a bit arrogant, like, oh, how did you finish that garment? Oh, well, I just used a French knot. And I want to be one of those people. I just want to rub it in someone's face. Just once. I just want to do it once. And I think if I master a French knot, then that gives me the opportunity to really give it to people. Make them feel worthless and make me feel amazing because I know how to do a French knot. And also as well, I don't want to kind of bring the mood down or anything. You know, I like to keep everyone updated with what's happening with me, etc, what's happening in my life. I haven't recorded for a couple of weeks because it's been quite like hectic and quite busy and stuff, and a lot of like things have happened. And unfortunately, we lost another one of the dogs. So we actually lost Ralph. He had a couple of seizures when he was going out for a walk, and like really it just wasn't like him at all. We took him to the vets and it turned out he had a giant tumour on, if I remember rightly, it was either his kidney or his liver, and unfortunately we had to get him put to sleep. So that's 2 dogs within the space of, I think, like a month. And it's just sad, like, obviously you know it's going to end up happening, you know you're going to outlive your pets and stuff, but I think especially when it happens all at the same time, it's just really difficult, isn't it? And Ralph as well, he was absolutely hard as nails. Like, he would never ever let anything bother him. Like, I remember one time I took him out for a walk, and him and the little dogs like to run around the farm and like fight and all sorts of stuff and just go crazy. And I don't know what he had done, or I don't know what he ran through, possibly some barbed wire or some sort of fencing. And when I got back from the walk, he had a massive slash down his side, and I could see like fat hanging out of the side of him. And he was just looking at us as if like nothing's happened, and looking at me as if like, why do you look so concerned for? It's like, you got fat hanging out of you, you crazy dog. He's proper hard as nails. So for something like that, and you could tell he just wasn't right, and he was panting a lot and just, it wasn't nice. So it's just been a bit of a shitty time, if I'm totally honest with you, for everyone really. I think all of these things have happened at like the worst time. Well, there's never a good time for something like that to happen, is there? But it's just been a bit of a shite time. But anyway, I just thought I'd keep you updated, and I'm not going to talk about too much because I'll cry. Right, we shall move on to this French knot. Right, so they're going up through a dot. Oh. Oh. And they're like twizzling it on the needle and then shoving it through. Well, that looks very easy. That looks nice. Oh, I think I can do that. Oh, that's cute. Is that all a French knot is? I can totally do that. A French knot, to me, sounds really complicated and really like, oh, I know what I'm doing a French knot. It looks piss easy. I say it looks piss easy, it's me who's doing it, so it'll probably be a mess. So this is the French knot one here, these little like buttony things. And apparently you just go up through the centre of one of these circles, like so. Take your thread all the way to the end, and then you go, look at this is dead clever. 1, 2, 3, and then shove it back through. And that's supposed to create like this cute little button thing. Mine didn't look like theirs. Okay, let me try that again. That didn't look right. It's still, that's cute, but that's not what it's supposed to look like. No, theirs doesn't look like that. Why is mine bunching for? Oh, they like tighten it. Wait there. Oh wait, right, hang on. So they do 3, they stab it in, like so, but they don't go through yet. And then they bunch it all, here, this is what I was missing. So they're bunching it to the bottom of the needle, keep it quite tight, and then you shove this through. And that should work. It's exactly what they did. Okay, that was way better. That was so much neater. Okay, that's great. That actually almost looks like theirs. In fact, I think that looks exactly like theirs. And you know how I managed to get that? By paying attention to the instructions.
I can't believe it either.
So you go up, you wrap it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. Then you pierce. But before you go all the way through, you want to tighten all of that thread right down to the bottom of the fabric, and then pull your needle through. And that kind of makes everything really nice and neat. You can see there my 2 scabby ones at the beginning which weren't right, but then them 2, they are perfect French knots, I believe, if I'm being taught the correct thing. Look at that, I'll be allowed in France. They'll be welcoming us with open arms. I don't think the French are a particularly emotional people, so I don't think they'll be open arms, but they'll, you know, potentially smile at us. And I'm saying that from a UK point of view. We're not particularly like that either. To be fair, I think it's quite a European thing. We're very just cold and not very emotional.
And to relax, I like to shave horses.
We're very emotional people, but we don't tend to show it as much. And people mistake that for being, I don't know, heartless. But we're not. We just don't need to kind of hug and smile all the time. All right, I tell you what I'm gonna do with this French knot thing. I'm gonna do on these cute little flowers. Oh, I'm actually really enjoying it. I didn't think I would. Really genuinely didn't think I would, because I'm shit at stuff like this. But the French knot has rescued the day. I'm assuming the French knot was made by the French. So if anyone is out there who is French, thank you very much, because I love your techniques. I did actually do French in school, you know. I only did a little bit from, I think, year 9. In fact, I think I only did a year of French. Or did I do 2 years of French? I don't know. But I remember it was a really difficult language to learn. Or I thought it was. I found German to be a little bit easier to understand than French. But even then, I'm still no good at German either. I know a little bit, but not a lot. And then when it came time for picking your GCSEs and stuff, and you got to choose which subjects you wanted, I dropped all the languages because I was like, no thanks. I also dropped history and I also dropped geography because I didn't mind geography, but I just didn't like the teacher, and I absolutely despised history. I found history so boring. I can't remember what I did for my GCSEs. In fact, I do remember I went for a double award in like computers, so like IT, and then I did art and design, obviously, and I also did, I think I did like some sort of graphics or something. We designed our own like food packaging and stuff, and we did it on like CAD, and you got to print them out and stuff, and it was all very complicated. Didn't enjoy that as much as I thought I was going to. You know what? I'm going to say it right now. This is surprisingly therapeutic. Never ever thought I would say that over sewing and stitching and stuff, but it's just very relaxing. I understand why people do it. To this day, never ever got it. Never kind of, I don't know, found people unusual who did do it for fun. But now I totally get it. Everyone better be well impressed, mind. I want praise for this. Look at that. Isn't that great? You could totally do something like this and create like some like roses or various different flowers and patterns and stuff on clothing or whatever, you know what I mean? Just incorporating something like that, and how easy it was. It's crazy. I am very, very impressed. Right, do I want to do another one? I think I do, you know. So I think this one's quite a common one, and it's called a chain stitch. I feel like I've heard people talk about chain stitches before. So this one here, this technique, and I'm going to give this one a bash. And for that, we'll go for orange. I am liking this kit, and the fact that there's so much effort gone into the video aspect of it, and the fact that you can see all the little tutorials. I think it's a very well put together kit, and it wasn't that expensive either. Not sponsored by this kit, and I bought it on Amazon. What's it called? What's the brand? Just in case you wanted it. Bradove. It's that one. If you Google that, you'll probably find it somewhere. Right, teach me how to chain stitch. Up one, going back through the same hole. Okay. I feel like this might be similar to the daisy stitch, you know. All the way through, yeah. Going up one, yeah. I understand. Oh, is that it? Oh, that's so easy. Oh my god. It's very similar to the daisy stitch. Okay, look at me saying easy. Easy. It's not a word I usually use, it's like embroidery. Bring all the thread all the way through, and then we're gonna go back on ourselves. And I think we're keeping a loop, aren't we? Right, so you're bringing it over that side and then going back. Let's just check the back, yeah. Starting a new chain, or just like further up from the chain. I'm going up there. Do I wanna catch the loop? Yeah, I'm gonna catch this loop. And then that should, hang on, I'm tangled. Caught that just as it was gonna tangle around itself. Yeah, I fixed it. Oh my god, I fixed a mistake. I can't believe I did that. The threads around the back just started to tangle themselves. Okay, and I've made one chain now. And then you keep that over that side and go back through. Yeah, I understand. So go back through, and then that just secures that one chain, I believe. Finish our chain. Oh my god, that was easy. I got confused during the middle part, but towards the end, I did an alright job actually. And there you have it, a chain stitch. This is the beginning part, and then obviously the middle, I don't know what happened there. And then towards the end, I think it starts to look really neat. And if you look at the back, I think the back is the neatest one out of them all. I feel like I was very put together and thoughtful with that one. So there we go, I've learnt 3 stitching techniques today. Lazy daisy stitch, a chain stitch, and a French knot stitch. And the French knot one was obviously my favourite one. Oh, I'm really proud of myself. This This was a fantastic day. I'm going to keep these and I'm going to learn some more stitching in my spare time. Not that I have spare time, but if and when I do have spare time, I'm going to pick this back up because there's lots of cool stuff. Buttonhole wheel. I thought that said butthole wheel. It doesn't say that at all. I'm going to be an expert before you know it. Anyway, I think that just about does it for today's video. I've taken a little deep dive into cross-stitching techniques. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a thumbs up. And I surprisingly have enjoyed it. I found it a little bit on the tricky side for some things, but other things I found it thoroughly enjoyable and something I would happily learn more about, which I'm very surprised I'm saying. And it's just amazing like how many different kinds of like knots and sewing techniques and little tips and stuff you can actually do with thread to create different kind of patterns and textures and shapes and stuff. But feel free to let me know in the comments below whether you'll be attempting any cross-stitching in the future. And if you are an expert cross-stitcher out there, give me a rating out of 10 for my French knot. I believe I deserve a 10 out of 10. Just saying. And I'll see you next week for a brand new video. French knot, oh my god, I can't believe I've done a French knot. I can't wait to brag. I'm gonna be insufferable. I'm gonna be so insufferable. I just want to get on people's nerves. That's what I want to do. I want to be one of those people who can do something that other people can't and it's irritating. That's what I want to be.